We're live.
Hey, everybody, happy Thursday. Listen, if you're still counting on hope as a strategy, you are in for a rude awakening. This is the beginning of 2026, and I want to be sure that each and every one of you who follow us, who listen to us, we want to make sure that you have the information that you need to become successful. Today, we are going to be talking about those millionaire investment strategies that actually work in 2026. Because remember, there's so much evolution in the market today. You need to understand that things are changing very fast. You don't want to implement old strategies to new environments because that is not going to work. As you can tell, a single tweet from the president of the United States changes the stock market by 5 to 7%. So you cannot operate with those old strategies. And today I have my man, my boy, the one and only Dr. Dimo. How you doing, man? Boy, you're looking sharp today. I didn't realize you're coming for this podcast. Are you sure you don't have another appointment somewhere?
My brother, they say you have to dress the way you want to be addressed.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Dress the way you want to be addressed. Yes,
Yep,
that's true. That's even very important because you know what? They say you never have a second opportunity to make a first impression.
absolutely, absolutely. It's a beautiful day to be alive. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Yesterday, I was at a gathering and I was opportune to meet one of the finest CEO here in San Antonio.
Oh,
He's
wow.
CEO of Silver Ventures. What $2 billion in assets?
Oh, Silver Ventures.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
What do
Um,
they do?
You should find time. I'm telling you, these guys, they are doing incredible. Their entire vision is to make San Antonio great again. And they have been in business for over 26 years, from agriculture to real estate to education to food,
Hmm.
restaurants to you can name it. Their portfolio is humongous, man. So if you
Wow.
have time, take time to look at Silver Ventures, read a little bit about them. They are growing, they are expanding their portfolio, and it was a unique and a privilege to meet the CEO yesterday. Just we chatted for a brief moment here. We exchanged contacts, and maybe we'll be in contact. There's nothing like venture capital and building venture capital and also having that sustained ability to show success over time. It's incredible.
Correct.
And those are the kind of people in 2026 that I have said to myself I'll try to start aligning with so that I can learn as much as I can learn and grow with respect to what I say my purpose is.
Absolutely. They say you are the average of your five friends, right? If
Yep.
four of your friends are flipping hamburger at McDonald's, you are most likely flipping in Burger King. In Burger King. If they are flipping in Burger King, you are most likely flipping in McDonald's, right? So it's certainly a great, great, great strategy to align yourself with people who are moving in the direction you're trying to move. I was actually just trying to share our link on my Facebook,
Okay,
uh,
yeah, I was just
social
looking
media,
at
so that way people can be able to connect with us. So, Dr. Edimo, I think we have 45 minutes today for sure till 5 o'clock. But
that.
most importantly, I think it's going to be the best 45 minutes of most of the people listening to us in their lives because you're going to be sharing some information. Not only sharing information, we don't look at ourselves like teachers. We look at ourselves more like mentors, like guys who just share their ideas, share their opinions, share some strategies that have worked. And those who are serious enough about their life can pick those things up and make use of them. Those who are not serious enough, who are not really wanting to do something significant, or who just want to take it as a joke, or who don't really want to pay the price, they can let it slide by. I really realize at this point in my life, after doing a lot of things and the experience I have, that the difference between the successful and the not so successful, a lot of times is the information you're exposed to and how you use that information and start implementing it. I was watching a podcast this evening of a guy called Omar El Takuri. And he was talking to this lady. She calls herself the queen of AI. This woman is so knowledgeable about AI. It's a 1 hour, 30 minutes session on the podcast. I'll share that link with you as usual.
Please, please.
Oh, that that podcast alone will teach you everything you need to know about AI to start becoming functional, build a business, and start making some good money, right? Now somebody will tell you 1 hour 30 minutes, they'll rather be watching some music. 1 hour 30 minutes is small time. Dr. Edimo will crush that. I will crush that. I will make notes. I will have a pen and a paper when I'm watching that stuff. I just watched only 25 minutes because I'm making notes. So I stop it, I write. I stop, I write. I stop, I think about how I can implement those strategies in my own business. So
Mm.
Dr. Edimo, we're at a critical time of the year, the beginning of the year. By now, most people, about 70% of people who had New Year resolutions have already given up. Usually by February, about 90% are done with that, right? Now, I want you to talk about specifically about this whole concept of wealth accumulation, right? Because sometimes people don't really realize that it's something not only intentional, but it doesn't happen by accident, right?
Yeah.
How is wealth engineered?
You know, 1 minute here. Let me just fix this camera.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Awesome.
You know, that's a very good question, my brother, my friend, and my mentor, Gustav. You know why a lot of us will remain in this trap of working so hard and not working smart? Because in school, they teach you how to pass exams and find a job. And at the end, they don't tell you how the money that you're working, how to keep and multiply that. And understanding cash flow is more important than income. That is why
Mm,
your friend that you told me, Ronald Reed, was able to accumulate $6 million working as a janitor.
eight,
But have
actually.
folks that are
Mm-hmm.
working and making over $500,000, they still don't can tell you they have $20,000 saved in their account.
Very true.
Accumulation is a mindset. It starts with a mindset. And you have to understand your cash flow. You have to understand what comes in and what goes out. There is this concept of paying yourself first. A lot of us, we get that concept the wrong way. Paying yourself first is when you get paid, you just go to the mall, you buy yourself the best Louis Vuitton, you buy yourself the best Gucci, you treat yourself to the best restaurant. Then before you realize, you have just leftovers to get the month by before you get paid again, without
Right.
thinking of the rainy days or how to accumulate. During your working life, that is your accumulation phase. Because during your retirement part of it, that will be the time that you will start the distribution phase. A lot of
Correct.
us, during our working life, we do more distribution than even accumulation. That is why at the end of the time when we are done with work, we won't even be able to live the life that we want to live with. I'll take two set of people. One making 100, two of them making the same, $100,000 a year. But
Mm-hmm.
person A decides that when they get paid, immediately as they get paid, they have a brokerage account that they automate their investments. And they invest 20% of their salary a year into that brokerage account. Person B makes the same $100,000 a year, but person B upgrades their lifestyle. They have the best cars, they have the best house, they wear the best clothes, they go to the fancy restaurant, little or no savings. 10 years into doing just that simple task, person A at 12% return will have $500,000 in investment. Person B will have those old Gucci's and Ferragamos, and even maybe that car won't still be working. 20 years doing that same stuff. Person A that pays themselves first by investing 20% of their income, still making that $100,000 a year, will be at 1.6 million, and person B will be shaky, will be stressed because they don't know how retirement will look for them.
And that's at how much a month? $500?
Yep.
So you're telling me if a 20-year-olds making 100,000, which is certainly possible because a lot of 20-year-olds are made in the IT industry, they were making top dollars already. One of them starts doing $500 a month. By the time they are 40, they have $1.6 million.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Okay. But here's the deal, Dr. Edimo. I totally understand what you're saying. And I believe a lot of people understand that math. But you and me know that money is more emotional than practical. Money has accumulation of wealth has nothing to do with your intelligence. It has everything to do with how you manage how you feel. How do you balance investing, which is fundamentally rooted on long-term planning and long-term discipline, with also the hunger, desire, and urge to also live a little bit while you are young, you are still able, because at the end of the day, what is $4 million worth to me when I'm 80 and I cannot even walk? I have a walker, right? Is that a fair question? I think that's a fair question somebody will ask. How do you balance that?
You know, one thing that I tell people, especially in my coaching realm, I tell people investing doesn't mean you should live life like a pauper. We still
Okay.
dress good, we still look good, we still once in a while will drink the finest of the champagnes
You
or
gave it up now, man.
yachts.
You drink water.
Yeah,
You no
yeah.
longer drink
But
so you drink the finest of the water.
yep,
Send me all those champagne, man.
absolutely. But the thing is, investing is the easiest thing that anybody can do with any income. The
Yeah,
time that the Congress passed the law that retail investors can invest in the US stock market, that was a game changer.
true.
At the beginning of time, say 15 years ago, retail investors, you and I couldn't even invest.
Very
The
true.
only way we could invest is if our employer provide us with a retirement plan, which we couldn't even manage. We didn't have access to buy the Teslas and the Apple and the Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. They were all in here targeted funds. But when the Congress realized that the rich has been benefiting from this at the expense of the poor, they approved that retail traders can buy fractional shares. That simply means if Tesla is $400 today, you can buy a fraction of that for $50. That was a
Mm-hmm.
game changer. And the thing about this is, you have to figure out that is why I started with your cash flow. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand your cash flow, there is no or little way that you will invest on an automated basis. And this is a mindset shift. A lot of us, we play in Jangis. You are the first to play on Jangi because you're afraid that your friends will call your name, that you have taken money from them, but you're not afraid to, you can't pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
If you can be that consistent in playing Jangi, why can't you be that consistent during your accumulation phase to build a nest egg for yourself while you wait and you work that hard, you're working and you can enjoy retirement? At the same time, if you plan and you plan well, you will still continuously live the kind of life that you want to live. As long as you don't live more than your mates, you shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be making $2,000 a month, but your expenses are $3,000 a month. That's already a red flag. That is the
Correct.
biggest red flag. A lot of us have to take a second look at our cash flow. Are we making more than what we are spending? Are we spending more than what we are making? Do we have to make adjustments? If you can't take that closer look and make those changes, it will be very, very difficult for you to even have that mindset in that accumulation phase to start building. But again, lifestyle and investing, they correlate and one doesn't take advantage of the other if you have that planned perfectly.
That's awesome. And there is this concept that you talk about. You've already mentioned it once, and I want to come back to that because I believe it's a very important concept. And I want you to spend a little bit and explain where it fits in the overall priority of accumulation, especially during the years in your life when you have to start investing and accumulating and building wealth, right? The concept of paying yourself first. How important is that concept? How did it work for you? How did it change your financial directory and the trajectory of your life?
That's a very good question, my brother Gustav. And this is what I usually start when I talk to some of my clients. Um, when the Congress passed that law that retail investors should invest, Luckily for me at that time, I had some understanding about the stock market. So I took
Mm-hmm.
on that and jumped into it immediately. The thing about paying yourself first, it's you have to look to me, it was like, first of all, I wasn't even looking at retirement because where I was at that time, I had a retirement plan. I was looking at that more of a safety net that if
Correct.
something happens tomorrow,
Oh, you
what
had a pension. Okay. Yes.
Absolutely. If something happens tomorrow, where do I go to? Okay. I find a lot of people today, they lose their jobs, and the next point, they have zero emergency fund, they have zero
Mm-hmm.
savings because of the fact that they had that 401k that they didn't even like to contribute in. Some of them were forced into kind of to get a
Mm-hmm.
retirement plan. That is their next safety net, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to make that your safety net. Paying yourself first, it's the best way for you, number one, to have that nest egg that if something happens, worst case scenario, you can still go there into those investments that you have accumulated over time to live upon that before you get the next job or before your business kicks in. That is number one. Number two, I've seen people paying yourself first, especially on a retirement perspective. You have an option to borrow from your own retirement, and the interest that you pay goes into that same retirement. So you're borrowing from yourself and paying interest back into your account, as opposed to going to that payday loan and
Mm-hmm.
taking a loan for 15, 20, 25, 30% based on the credit score that you have. So paying yourself first, it's the best thing that anybody,
Yeah.
as long as you're making an income, you should take advantage of so that you can start building and accumulating wealth for that rainy day and also building wealth for that nest, also building a nest egg for the part that when you start that distribution phase, you can start pulling from.
Wow. Wow. And I hope for those who are watching us, actually, we appreciate you jumping on the live. Please feel free share this live link with others so they can join on. Also, as you know, join in the chat. Let us know what you're getting from this. Drop us a question, drop us a comment. We like this to be interactive. We are not here, it's not a lecture in a class or something like that. This is just an interactive conversation. In fact, if we were living in the same city, we'll be doing this from one of our living rooms.
Oh
We are
yeah.
doing it on Zoom just because, we don't live in the same city. So feel free, assume that you are sitting in the room with us. What will you be asking us? What are the questions you'll be curious about? Drop those questions in the comment section. Also give us a like, okay? Hit the like button. The algorithm needs to know that you like this video so that way they'll move it to more people like you who are interested in changing the trajectory of their life. Dr. Edimo, one of the things, and which is a big misconception out there, a lot of people I talk to don't really understand how the stock market works, don't have the patience to want to understand, and just brush it off with the usual, one size fits all. Oh, it's gambling. I'm not interested in gambling my money. I want you to just break down in very brief terms what the stock market is, why it is not gambling, and how an everyday person should understand it and start taking advantage of it.
Good. Impeccable question. And
Yes.
that is where many of us have failed, especially investing in the stock market. And we go around chasing those Ponzi schemes when they come around, like the cloud boost and the whatever that they call them.
Hmm.
I'll tell you, the stock market is simple. From a layman perspective. If you're wearing an Apple Watch, or maybe we're streaming from an Apple computer, or you have an Apple phone, these are companies. These companies, they raise capital by selling their stocks. And raising capital by selling their stocks, they produce some of these gadgets that we are using. They sell these gadgets, they make incredible returns, and due to demand and supply of their stock options, it goes up or down based on the
Hmm.
supply and how the company is performing. So In the layers man term, if you're buying from Walmart, Walmart has been there forever. Walmart
Yeah.
sell, you can buy Walmart stocks. Walmart, they raise stocks, they increase on their stocks in order to raise capital so that they can continuously build more Walmart stores. So if you're going to Walmart or buying from Amazon, there shouldn't be any reason. Invest in solid companies. A lot of us why we lose money in the stock market is because we gamble. And gamble relies on luck and speculations. When you
Mm-hmm.
start getting into the stock market based on luck and speculation, you're in the wrong terrain and you will get beaten really, really bad. When you start hearing all these penny stocks, somebody tells you take 5,000 and buy ABC for 99 cents, and tomorrow that will be $2. And you put your money there, you will see at that point you have maybe 5,000 or 10,000 shares when you have spent $1,000. You're anticipating that 5,000 shares will be $5,000 tomorrow. I'm telling you, you are in for a long run, man. Because I'll tell you that 5,000 shares that you got for $1,000 might be $200 when you wake up, because that
Fact.
is not a solid company. Buying shares of established companies is owning business, not be betting on the stock market. You have to buy shares to own. When you buy a share of Apple, you are owning a portion of Apple company. When you buy a share of Tesla, you're owning a
A
company.
piece. Mm-hmm.
You're owning a portion of Tesla. So start looking upon those companies that have been there for a long time, that you as yourself you're consuming on a daily basis. A lot of us, we go to Starbucks. Starbucks has been a company that has been there forever. If you go look at their balance sheet, if you look at their cash flow, they have been doing incredibly. One thing about especially those that are new in the stock market, the stock market is not an upward rise. You will go through challenges. And that is why in my coaching program, I ask you, how long are you prepared to invest? Investing
Correct.
is not a 30-day round, it's not a year round. Investing is for the long term. It's a long term thing because
Yeah.
nobody knew, for instance, nobody knew COVID was coming. When COVID came, the market took a downfall. But guess what? With every crash has been an incredible recovery. An incredible recovery. So during the crash times, and that is why folks keep some money as cash at all times to take advantage of some of this volatility. And when you program your investments, automate it, even when there are these little volatilities, you are taking advantage of some of the low ends of some of these investments and you're buying it cost dollar averaging very low. That is why over time you will see some investments you have made 50%, 100%, 300% because you have been there for the long time. You have rode the waves and you are there to enjoy the time that you have been in that business.
Wow. So I like the fact that you really break it down honestly, genuinely, and give a clear picture of what it is. And the reason why is we live in a short-term thinking era today, right? You go on Instagram, you see a 30 seconds, 45 seconds video, do this, you become a millionaire on the stock market. You go to TikTok, the same, right? But they don't really break it down to let people understand that it's not going to happen as fast as that. That in those 45 seconds that they used to say there's a 10-year track or 15-year of discipline, of sweat, of grind, of continuously doing one thing over and over without getting tired. So I like the fact that you talk about that one question you ask at the beginning of every coaching session: how long are you ready to invest? Because a lot of people don't understand that, like with everything, everyone talks about building generational wealth, but nobody wants to hold the stock for their generation. Isn't that ironical?
Yep.
If you want to build generational wealth, be ready to hold company stocks for generations. That is really how, in fact, what
Yep.
the rich have finally understood about the way finance works, the way investing on the stock market works, is they actually don't sell their assets. Dr. Dimo and I, we don't plan to ever sell anything that we're invested in. We
Yep.
are going to borrow money against those assets at a very minimal 2-3% interest and
Yep.
live off of that. So, guys, this is an advanced strategy, right? And Dr. Adimo, I know you mastered this strategy too. I want you to, I know it's a little bit advanced, but it just came to my mind. I want you to touch a little bit about the buy, borrow, die strategy because it ties into this long-term thinking. We
Yep.
want people to know that it's all about long-term. There is
Yep.
no short-term fix here.
Respect to the buy, borrow, and die strategy. Again, it's all about the long term. If we all look at, especially in America, you have some folks you have to work for 40 years to retire. So these have been coined very well. At 20, 21, most people they have their first degree and stuff, they should jump into the market. And you have 40 years to work to get you into that 60. Okay? Into that 60, that is when you retire. So your accumulation phase is between that 20 to 60. Okay?
40 years, correct.
Yep. So the buy borrow strategy is simply if you have assets, and this is what the rich people have done over time. That is why you see somebody like Donald Trump, they pay $75 in
In
taxes.
taxes.
When you have assets, you borrow against your assets. You know why? Because you don't pay any taxes on that. You pay zero taxes on your assets. For instance, if you own real estate, right? You borrow against your real estate, you take some equity out, you pay zero taxes. And this is part of the tax strategy and architect that we provide. You see
Mhm.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk might have 10 million Tesla shares. Elon Musk goes to the bank and say, you know what? I have 10 million Tesla shares. This might be worth $3 billion. I want to borrow half a billion against these shares. They will give Elon Musk the half a billion at zero interest. All they will take, they'll hold it, they'll take an option on those shares.
Mhm.
So this is what that the rich does in order to buy. They borrow from the assets and they die and they continuously live a generation. And that is why they build all these offices, all these rich offices that their money continues. And this is where the life insurance index universal life that people keep preaching today, that is where it comes about. Because these folks that have all these millions stashed, they are looking for tax exemption and tax strategy to help them and also grow their wealth over time. It is not for the poor. It is not for
Yeah.
somebody that doesn't even have a basic emergency fund. But that is something for another day.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I like that. I like the fact that you're teasing our audience, making sure they can see more, right? Because this whole thing, when we talk about investing on the market, understanding how it works, why it is important to make the sacrifice, sometimes people don't understand that this is real freedom. When you've built assets, that is real freedom. It's not the freedom we read in books. It's not the freedom we hear talked about every day. We are talking about freedom to choose when you want to work, what you want to work, what you want to do, where you want to live, where you want to spend time in your life. That is where freedom comes in. Because once these assets are in place, then you can make income off of these assets. And this income, better still, if you use the strategy Dr. Dimo talked about, you don't pay taxes. So you're basically living life tax free.
Yep.
Boy, Guys, I need you guys to understand these things, right? And by the way, if you're watching us right now, I will be hosting a live seminar on February the 26th on Thursday. And that seminar is called the Clarity and Legacy Blueprint webinar. It's a 1 hour 30 minutes webinar, general admission. And if you want to be part of the VIP, which will include things like asking questions and being able to interact with me personally one-on-one, you can also join, upgrade to that. But this webinar, we are going to be breaking down concepts like this. We are going to be breaking down strategies that are changing people, strategies that the rich and the famous have used for years to benefit from. And the most many people will do is get jealous, angry, complain how the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Don't complain about the rules of the game. Learn the rules of the game, guys. The rules are not going to change. Learn the rules of the game. So we'll have the link down under this video. You can purchase your seat. Make sure you secure a seat, share with people you care about. And this is the new year. Give it out to people as gift. Dr. Edimo,
Yep.
there's something. One of the vehicles, the investment vehicles that is very popular today and has come back to the limelight a lot is the Roth IRA. But a lot of people don't know what a Roth IRA is, and they don't know what the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA is. I would like you to just take a few minutes to educate people on what a Roth IRA is, what a traditional IRA is, and how each of them differ and how they can be maximized.
I'll tell you this. If anybody can take this or listen to this live, right?
Yeah,
They want to take one thing, they should take this. If you're living in the United States and you're making less than $156,000 a year, if there is anything, invest in your Roth IRA. This is tax-free investments. As of 2026, you have up to $7,500 to put in that account. Even if you don't know what to buy, go and buy S&P 500 and leave it there. Just last year,
yeah.
S&P 500 made 16% return. If you're still in your 20s or in your 30s that you have a long time to work, if you factor that 7,000, and every year that number increases. Last year was 7,000. This year is 7,500. That simply
Correct.
means if you put in close to $600, $700 every month, you divide
You
that
can
by
hit that
three,
number. Yeah.
yeah, $350, $400 every pay period, you'll max that out. Guess what? When you do this at the end of your life, at the end of your working career, right? You will have, I just want to do one simple math here. So take, for instance, you max out your 7,000 every year for 30 years at 12%. You do that every year.
Let me share my screen. Then you can drive that.
Okay.
Yes. Just share, bring it up, and then you can explain.
Okay.
So everyone can actually see. Because this stuff is no joke. We like to do this show like a workshop so that everybody can follow, right? Let's see. Okay, wonderful. Okay, here we are.
Yep. So going there, your first 7,500 starting this year, 7.5. All right. And for 30 years, you're 30 years old. Are you going to do this for 30 years?
Okay,
And you average 10% return every year.
very conservative. Yeah.
And annually, you put 7,500.
Okay.
You click annual. There you go. Calculate.
Hmm. Wow.
At 60, you have 1.3 million. This is very conservative at 10%.
Correct.
Say you understand how investment works and you average 15% return every year. Change that to 15%.
And this is considering that the total amount doesn't change
The
because
total
it changes
amount
every
doesn't
year.
change. You
This year is
continue to do the
7,500. Next
same
year
thing.
might be 8,000. The year
Yep.
after might be 8.5. This is
Yep.
assuming that it
This
stays
is
at 7.5
assuming
for
that you
30
just
years.
maintain your 7,500.
Yeah. Wow.
You'll have $3.7 million at 60. And guess what? The best thing about this is all tax free.
Wow.
You will
If
not
it's in the
pay
Roth.
a dime in taxes on this money. Guess what? Another thing. These 30 years, you know how much you have saved? Do you know how much you put into this account? It's
The
two.
total contribution.
Yep, your total contribution is $225,000.
This
Your
is the
total
total interest.
interest is 3.5 million. So guys, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. This is just so simple. If somebody asks you to pay them $3,000 a year or $4,000 a year to guide you towards this, and $4,000 or $5,000 a year in 30 years, how much is that? I want to do that quick calculation.
530, that's 150,000.
So if you pay someone 150,000 over the time to help you build 3.5 million, wouldn't you do that? I'll
So
do.
let's even take it from this amount, take it out
Yes.
of this amount.
Yep.
So which means your total spend will be 225 plus 150. That is
Absolutely.
375,000.
Yep.
You'll still end up 150, you'll still end up with 3.375.
Absolutely. If you do
3.3
it
million, yeah.
yourself, again, a lot of folks listening to us today, they won't even do it themselves. If you can do it yourself, just put it in S&P. There is a high probability you average 10%, now you end up at 1.6 million. Or
Yeah.
you find a coach or somebody that understand what they're doing, you get into the program for them to guide you, and you make 3.7 million. This is not rocket science, guys. It is not. But the thing is, we always want to do things by ourselves. We claim that we want to do it by ourselves. We do it the wrong way. We lose our money. We get into Ponzi schemes and all these pyramid schemes out there. That is just the rough. If, and one thing that I tell folks, try as much to maximize your Roth every year. If you can do that, even if you can do it, go drive Uber. If you drive Uber and make just for the weekends and make $100 every weekend, that is $400 a month. You will
That's your Roth IRA for the year.
absolutely
Yeah.
that will contribute to you making this 7,500. If you're living in this country, which is the greatest country, if you see the entire Europe, China, and the world, all of them, they are fighting with this country because this country is the greatest country. And a lot of us, we come here, all we do is just work so hard, but we don't interact and listen to things that will take us from just working hard to working smart and accumulating as we're working hard in order to enjoy during our distribution phase. This is the route for you. Take this and run with it in 2026. Order. If you can maximize on your Roth, you should also invest in your traditional. You have up to 24,500. I'm sure that's the amount this year.
Correct. For the 401k.
Yeah, you can put into your traditional IRA. Don't wait
You mean your 401k?
for your 401k. Don't wait for your employer to provide you a retirement before you contribute. You don't have to. You can open your own IRA. You can. And you can contribute the same amount. There are two types of IRA. You have the traditional and the Roth. So don't wait for an employer to say, most employers, even right now, they don't even provide that. And most do not even match. So I talk to most of my clients, I ask them, do you have a retirement account? Oh no. Some of them even have the retirement account. So if you're watching this today, if you don't have an idea, you're working for a corporation, call your HR and ask them if you guys are offering a retirement account. If they have a 401k and they are matching it at the minimum, some people match 3 to 5%. That simply means if you're making $100,000 and the company is matching 5%, if you put in that 5%, the company will put it 5. If you don't put it, the company won't put anything in there. And that is why they don't advertise that. That is a service to you. That is a payment to you. But until you take advantage of that, HR will not come every day at your cubicle and tell you, oh, you haven't made you haven't matched your retirement account. No, they're losing money. So please, especially during your enrollment and stuff every year, take a look at some of these things. If you don't know how to do it, that is why some of us are here. We'll charge you a simple $500 an hour. You will complain, you can't pay that. They will save you a lot of money. There was this client that I helped the other day. They have been providing her a match of 8% for the past 9 years. They did not know.
8%?
Yep.
So if they put $8,000, the company gives them a free $8,000.
That is
That's
16,000.
100% return on
Yep.
your money without risk.
Without risk.
Look at how much they've lost over 9 years.
Yep.
Eight times nine, that's about 80, 70, $72,000.
Just on this
Free
calculator,
money.
let's do that.
So
Put
let's see what so they've so eight
so
8%.
put
Let's assume
16,000.
100,000. Huh?
Put
So
16,000
let's do
annually.
so let's
Just
do
starting at 16.
so it's 8,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
plus their own 8,000.
Yeah.
Start at
So let's
16.
put 16,000. That's after the first year.
Yep.
Right? So let's put 8
9 years.
years. 9 years, sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll put
Let's
10%.
just put 10%. That's right. And every year they were bringing in
16,000.
another 16,000.
Yep.
Let's see what would have happened. I don't even want to click calculate. I'm already depressed. I hope they are not watching. Look at how much money they left on the table.
Yep. That's a quarter of a million right there.
Yes. Look at the total. Look at how much profit or
Yep.
growth they left on the table.
And this is just at 10%. Put 15% there.
Good. Okay, let's do 15. Okay. So which means, look at that. I'd have been 300 and something. Look at the growth. So, Dr. Edimo, so you're telling me, let's even just go back to 10%, right? So you're telling me that if this family had done this for 9 years and stopped after those 9 years, let's say they get fired from that job and they leave, no, hang on, let me do this. Okay. Let's see what that comes to. Okay, 254. So which means basically after the 9th year, let me say they get fired, right?
Correct.
And they don't do nothing. They have 254 in there and they leave it there for another 20 years before they retire. Well, let's say 21 years, right? At 10%. And they don't put nothing. They put $1 every year. Let's see what that will be at retirement. Hallelujah.
It's 1.8.
So
and guess what they have put into that account, they started with the 9 years that they could have accumulated $254,000, and they just let it sit there, just continuously invest that, not putting any money in there at 10%. They will make 1.8 million. And all they have put into that account at that time will be the 254. So they'll have $1.6 million in returns. Make that 15%. Let's see where that will be.
Okay, I think you just want to blow the system up now. And this 15 is still very conservative.
Yep. That's 4.7 million. So let me tell you this, my brother Gustav. A lot of people, they think that to be a millionaire is
It's complex.
never gonna happen. And you know what? It's the microcosm in the brain of this individual that do not understand the power of compound interest. If anybody is watching this today, compound interest is the 8 wonders of the world.
Yeah.
And it's more powerful than the rate of return. Starting early beats starting late or starting big. Somebody that invests just $300 monthly from the age 25 to 65, right?
Mm-hmm.
$100 monthly from the age 25 to 65 at 8% return, they'll be a millionaire. As opposed to somebody that started investing the same $300 at 35 to 65, they'll have less than half a million. Time in the market is your best friend. If you're listening to us today, you're in your 20s, you have incredible time to build. It's even going to get better. With AI and everything that is coming in, it will just get better. Your returns will be crazy if you understand how this market works. If you're in your 40s and your 50s, it's never too late. You still have some good 10, 15, 20 years that you can invest. If you're in your 60s, again, it's better to start than never to start. You can still build something in there for you that you can leave off to add to your social security, but time is not on your side. So if you
Right.
have time, take advantage of this and build incredible wealth for you and your next generation.
Dr. Dimo, that seemed like a mic drop moment. I don't know what else to say. Any closing words?
I'll tell you, brother, you know what? Wealth isn't about lucky timing or
Yes.
intelligence. It's about discipline, structure, and the intentional decision repeated over time. Wealth is built in your sleep. A lot of this money that you build, you will not be there working so hard. This thing will work by itself and it will build overnight and during the day while you go about your business. Why don't you take advantage of the least stressful way to build your money rather than gambling in the stock market or gambling, taking things that you don't even understand or believe in? Or if somebody comes to you and tell you something that in your mind you know that is too true, it's too good to be true, but you still take your hard-earned money and put it in that. Some of you might look at 10% as small. We have given you some projections here, what 10% can do for you in 10, 15, 20, or even 30 years. If today be that day, let that day be today so that you take that bold step and start making wealth work for you. Thank you, my brother.
And the people of God say, hey.
Amen.
Hey, listen, my brother, it's always a plumping pleasure. It's just incredible, especially when you take the time to prepare and share all these nuggets on the line. Guys, we're always on here every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. And next week, we're going to be hosting the show on the Wealth Smart platform. And that's Dr. Edimo's platform. Dr. Edimo, tell them a little bit about Wealth Smart, please.
Smart is a platform that will teach you to understand that wealth is engineered, it's not by accident. We are transforming from a coaching to a wealth and tax strategy firm. You'll hear more of that in the coming months. But we are here to just help working Americans. If you're serious about building wealth, we are here for you. If you're the one that's paying, you have a business, be you a physician, be you a nurse, be you a business owner, that you pay taxes to the IRS. Meanwhile, you cannot even pay yourself or take tax deduction or even invest some of the proceeds from yourself. You're giving money to the IRS that you don't have to give. If your taxpayer or your tax filer or your CPA is asking you to pay 30,000 or more to the IRS when you don't know what the solo 401k is, when you don't know about the Augusta rule, when you don't know about paying your kids, that those are wealth generation mechanisms that at WallSmart Advisory Group, we can help you streamline your finances, make you know that wealth is engineered, it is not built by accident. So call us. We are here to help you at any time.
Awesome. Dr. Jimo, it was a great plumping pleasure. Thank you for hopping on. Hey, everybody, we appreciate your time. Go ahead and click the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Join us next week on Thursday. and make sure you stay in touch. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section. Get yourself ready. If you haven't booked your time, you haven't booked your spot for the February 26th seminar coming up, look at the description of this video. There'll be a link down there. Click on that link, and I'll see you on the inside. Until the next time, be well, be blessed, and by all means, never stop being a blessing to somebody. Bye for now, everybody.
Take care for now. Thank you, my brother. Until next time.
Absolutely, man. Talk to you later.